We'll hear from a special guest clinician today. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Allie Cook for the Dental News Network. Today is April 22nd, 2015, and this is your Wednesday Watch brought to you by Brasseler USA.
The ESX endodontic system features several patented components and was developed to fulfill the vision of restorative endodontics. The system utilizes a matching bioceramic obturation system featuring BC sealer and BC points. With bioceramic nanotechnology, we are now able to utilize similar minimally invasive techniques that we have embraced in restorative dentistry. For the first time, Brasseler's ESX and bioceramic obturation system allow you to restore from the apex up, thereby maximizing the long-term prognosis of the treated tooth.
Here's today's dental news brought to you by Brasseler USA. We have a special video for you today. Dentistry Today's technology editor, Dr. Paul Feuerstein, recently had a chance to speak with Dr. Dennis Brave about sealers and other endodontic topics. Here's some of their conversation.
The real reason that we do a root canal is to prevent reinfection of the tooth.
Correct.
We remove debris and then we put something in the place of the root canal space to prevent bacteria from ingress either apically or coronally.
So you need a tight seal.
You need a seal at both ends.
A legitimate seal.
Legitimate is a great word. Over time, what we've been doing is essentially trying to minimize the sealer. So when we use lateral condensation or vertical condensation, you said you were taught with Herb Shoulder. Herb Shoulder was going about a process to compact gutta percha for only one reason.
To keep that sealer against
minimize the sealer. Why did you need to minimize sealer? Because the sealers were really not very biocompatible.
And they break down.
They break down. The thicker the liner of the sealer, the less integrity to the final product.
It's too bad that stuff wouldn't bond.
It wouldn't bond. What do we have today is we have new bonding materials such as bioceramics, which allow us to not be concerned about the thickness of the sealer because they don't shrink. They're biocompatible. They're osteogenic, they're antibacterial, they do all the things that Lou Grossman would have dreamed about.
Lou Grossman.
Imagine, all the things he would have dreamed about, we now have. So when you think about it, why should we still be compacting gutta percha in a space in order to minimize the bad effects of a poor sealer?
Where now you have a better
We have
sealer.
wonderful sealers. So material science has really advanced our ability to think out of the box and realize that we don't have to go through these compaction techniques anymore.
But also that means I don't have to widen out that canal.
Exactly, because it was obturation that really dictated the need for shaping. We needed to increase the shaping and flare
to get those instruments
and
in
get
there.
the instruments in there. So every time we would take a spreader into that root, we would have to take it through a small opening. It would be hard.
Exactly.
So we made the opening a little larger, and then we made it a little larger. Now we can return to minimal invasive techniques because the bioceramic sealers are so unique in their ability to not only bond to the dentin and create hydroxyapatite, but also bond to the gutta percha because the gutta percha is impregnated and coated. Right.
So this will give me a more solid tooth when I'm done with it.
Much more. Matter of fact, the more recent studies over the last year have shown that the bonding strength will retain the original integrity of the strength of the tooth.
So they enhance it.
Well, if you were to fill the entire root with the material,
Yeah.
it would enhance it.
Wow.
But we always still want to retain the opportunity to
Sure.
retreat the
Right,
tooth.
of course.
So we use this impregnated coated gutta percha to deliver the sealer through what we call a synchronized hydraulic condensation technique. And now we don't have to use any kind of compaction whatsoever.
And what is this process called? I know it's from Brasseler
Well,
Corporation.
it is. We call it a synchronized hydraulic condensation. That's the technique. The actual product is actually what we call BC sealer and also BC root repair material, both of which are essentially similar but with the particle size being different.
Wow.
So one is more viscous. The one that we want to use as a sealer obviously has a greater wetting angle and is more capable of moving into all the lateral canals and the dental tubules. The one we use for retrofilling, we have both as a syringeable form and we also have it as a putty. So what we're really doing for the first time is using material science to advance endodontics. When I was taught 40 years ago to do a root canal, many of the people that are in this building today who are dentists are still using techniques that are 40 and 50 years old. They're not taking advantage of material science. This is the first material that's really advanced us in this way.
Thanks, Dr. Brave, and thanks also to Dr. Feuerstein. And thank you for checking out the Wednesday Watch. We'll see you next week with more from DNN and Dentistry Today.